All right, a couple of quick things before the review, and it is a little bit long. It's almost like 30 minutes or so, and I'm trying to make this short so it's not even longer. But two things. One is I still go a little hard on the 43X in the review because of the expectation of the Glock platform. Because the Glock platform is so tried and true, it's so solid, so accurate, so reliable, all that jazz. I wanted more, and I expected more, and that's probably not good for me to do because of my past experience with Glock being so positive. I had a false expectation that shouldn't not have been there, and I do apologize for that. But it is what it is, and I'm looking at this objectively in the way of the features and the pros and the cons and all that, and I do have a take for sure on my feelings of the 43X based on those objectives, but it is tainted with my expectation after having shot plenty of other different types of Glocks. So that is one thing I wanted to apologize and also make note of, that I am of bias, but at the same time I can see the good things that, I mean, this is a Glock, right? And that's, I think that one of the biggest positives is it's a Glock. But in any case, okay. And the second thing is the third nuance near the end of the video that I talk about is growing to enjoy it. And I didn't get to finish that thought because I went off on a tangent, but I'm going to finish it here, and you'll have to wait till the end to see what I did mention, and I'll keep going with that train of thought in that the more I shot it, I got to around 500, and I started to really get into a rhythm and a vibe with this firearm that made me feel just, I could go all day. And there was I think it was the last 100 rounds, 900 to 1,000. I was blazing through. I went through that in like 8 minutes. I mean, 8 minutes in terms of without loading, right? It was just so quick, and that was impressive. That was impressive, and it did turn out to be, you know, what the other experiences were with the other different types of Glocks, 19, 26, 43, regular 43, and I think an 18. In any case, it turned out to be just like all the other Glocks and a great shooting experience, and I learned to really, really enjoy it. So third nuance, you'll see it down there. And those are the 2 points I wanted to make. This is one of my actually favorite reviews so far. It turned out very well, and I was very happy with what I said about the Glock and how I came through this character arc for this pistol was great to see and to experience. This is, and also too, my experience of having done more of these reviews has become more refined. In any case, I don't want to keep spoiling everything. That's all for this pre-intro. Please enjoy the review. No outro. Stay to the end. Really appreciate everybody. Enjoy.
This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. All firearm handling shown is performed by trained individuals in a controlled environment. Always follow the 4 rules of gun safety. Number 1, treat every firearm as if it's loaded. Number 2, never point a firearm at anything you do not intend to destroy. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Number 4, be sure of your target and what's beyond it. Comply with all local, state, and federal laws regarding firearms. Do not attempt to replicate any action seen in this video without proper training and safety measures. The creators assume no liability for misuse or unsafe practices.
It's the Pew 1,000 round review of the Glock 43X. Now, if you don't know me, if you're first time here, we'll do a little housekeeping for the review. I'm the Pew, and I do gun reviews, gun shoots from a static position, first 1,000 rounds, whether it be a brand new pistol or a used firearm, I should say, not pistol, but pistols, rifles, shotguns, all that stuff. It'll be 1,000 rounds through its paces in terms of shooting different grains of 115, 124, 147, etc. Whether it be 40 Smith & Wesson, 3080, 380, excuse me, 9mm, 45 ACP, all the way up to 50 cal. Yeah. Anyway, so I do these shoots of 10 episodes, 100 rounds each episode of shooting downrange at also various distances from, 10 all the way up to 100, to just familiarize myself with the eccentricities, nuances, and characteristics of said firearm. And all within reason because of my frame, my build, my height, my weight, all that, my bone structure. I'll have a little bit different experience than anybody else. So my take will be one that you could see over the span of time, the consistent span of time, where I have that body of work and evidence that I'm shooting all these rounds, that I take into consideration the things that I'm doing with all these firearms. And this isn't to say that I'm saying that no other shooter or reviewer is doing that. I'm just saying this is where I come from. This is what I'm doing. It's just a little something different, and I'm inspired by all the gun tubers that you've probably already watched, and that's just how I do things. So anyway, that being said, I shot 1,000 rounds through the 43X, 115, 124, 147. I will be shooting EDC rounds because it's an EDC pistol, hollow point, to see how it does. Most likely it's a Glock, it's gonna shoot through it. I had no issues with this firearm in terms of all the ammunition. So what I do after that 1,000 rounds is I just give my take. I do the pros, I do the cons. I do 3 pros, 3 cons, and then my overall, what I think about the firearm in my collection, as a carry, as a range toy, or just to throw at somebody, right? Just kidding. So I'll just jump right into it with all that out of the way. Oh, and then also too, I have no bias. I'm not somebody that loves a Glock, loves a SIG, loves a Springfield Armory. If it shoots well, it shoots well, and I'm coming from that standpoint. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Pay for all the gear, pay for all my ammo, pay for all the guns, pay for everything with my own money. If I am sponsored, I will tell the community and make mention of that, but I still will not have a biased take, despite if the sponsors want me to do that. Anyway, that we'll cross that bridge when it comes time. Right now, everything is done by me. So there's a couple of changes before I get into the review. A couple of changes coming with the Glock, and it's actually going to be coming in the middle of April or something of this year, where it will get 15 round magazines. Now I have 10 rounds. It came with 2 10-round magazines, and this one I think was used at $380. But I looked at the MSRP. Okay, so really quick, that is going to change the take of the firearm, because now it comes with a not higher, but more capacity magazine for the pistol. And in this class, in order to stay competitive, which right now, not really competitive because of the option. There's no other option except for the 10 round, unless you go aftermarket and you do some mechanical work on the inside of the magazine release. So that being said, this review is based on this model, but also considering if there is a 15, if I did get the 15 round version of this firearm. So, and I will be getting the 15 round magazines for this, because that'll be a lot better for EDC. So I'll incorporate that a little bit, but I still have those considerations, and I'll make mention of that, of why I did, or I say what I say, or how I feel what I feel. Now, starting with the cons. Con number 1 is the feature set. So going back to the price, which the price will actually be another con, but the feature set for the price, like I said, I bought this at $380. It was used, I think it was brand new. I got it at MSRP $380. Anyway, the fact is that there are other pistols in this class that come with MOS, that have a optics cut. There are other pistols in this class that come, I think they do come with a Picatinny, and other guns in this class that have a higher capacity magazine. Now, for YouTube policy purposes, I only shoot 10 round magazines. I only shoot 10 rounds through all the magazines. But the option of having that ability to get higher capacity, more capacity magazine is definitely something that I consider as well. If I had that choice, or if I have that option, which right now we don't until April. Remember when I said I would mention that in there in the review in the con? So because I didn't have that option, that is a definite con. This came with 10 rounds, no Picatinny, no MOS optics cut, and it was $380. MSRP, I looked online, it's like $425, and then with the cut, the optics cut, the MOS, it jumps up to $5, and I'm like, no, I can't justify 10 rounds for a firearm that has this minimal amount of features. So that's a definite con. Con number one, the feature set. It does not come with some of the features that are standard on other weapons like of this class. CC9, which is already a little bit higher price with CC9, but that's still a consideration. It's around $500, but it comes with a Picatinny, higher capacity magazine, and an optics cut. The Max 9 Ruger, all day long, I would pick that over this because it has that optics cut. It has that feature set for what it is, and it's cheaper. So that's a no-brainer, and higher capacity, more capacity in the magazine. Which leads into con number two, price. The price is, you can't justify that, especially given all of the things that it doesn't come with, and the no option for more capacity magazine. The price is too much. It's too much, and also that comes coupled with the next con. But I'll make mention of that. As a standalone, the price, you look at the other classes, like I said, the Ruger Taurus, not so much, because even though that is cheaper, there's stuff about that I'll give in my review of that firearm. But the CC9, even though that's a pretty price point, that has all the things that you would want on it, aside from the ambidextrous mag release, which you have to watch my video on that because I have an issue with it. Not that it's a problem or a con, but anyway, getting away from the point. The price does not justify why this thing doesn't have everything it comes with. So that is a definite con all the way around. Now, that's con number two, is the price. Con number three is that shooting experience. Now, if you shot Glock 19, 17, you know what to expect, 34, 43, all that stuff. It's very confident in its shoot, and you can be accurate if you practice, if you're not accurate with it at first. And this, because it's a smaller, slimline form factor, it doesn't have that confidence. It is I want to say buzzy. When you shoot it, it shakes in your hand, and you really have to death grip it when you want to shoot. And it shoots confidently. Don't get me wrong. It is an accurate pistol, and I'll go into that with my eccentricities and nuances. Is that it does shoot very well, and I like it. I really do. But off the jump, when you're shooting it, and then later on as you experience it more, and if you're trying to shoot higher and higher rounds, you notice a couple of things depending on your hand size. And for me, what I noticed is my finger on the trigger as I'm shooting it. You'll want to shoot with your finger here, with your whole tarsal, metatarsal covering the trigger. You want to have it here at the point, right? Well, as you shoot it, it shakes, and it slowly starts to work your trigger finger in more onto the trigger. So that to me was that shooting experience off the jump. It's not user friendly, and for my opinion later on, I don't think a beginner shooter should take this on. Now the other Glocks, of course, that's totally fine, but shooting experience with this, it's not good. Now later on, as you shoot through 1,000 rounds like I have, then you can tell, I like this. I get it. I understand it. I'm working with it. My body's getting used to it, and I can become more accurate with it. But other guns that you shoot right off the gate, like the CC9, it's a laser. It shoots where you put it, and I really appreciate that. Which is why that price point makes sense, and I'm not too butthurt about that. But this, no, you need to refine this a little bit more if you're going to justify that price point with the lack of feature set that comes on it, and you have that price. So con number 3 is that shooting experience, the buzz, the recoil. It's a little much. So going on to the pros is the fit. The fit, because it's a slim line, it's a single stack, double stack. Well, it's actually a single stack magazine but in the class that it's in, right? It's a single stack 9mm subcompact EDC carry. It fits very nice. It fits very nice, and my hands are, like I mentioned before, if you haven't seen me, from thumb to pinky is 8 inches. So when I hold on to the pistol, I'm quite enveloping it a little bit, and it feels really good. Now the texture it's not there, and that's not a negative, because there are a lot more glaring cons that I wanted to put in here. If it was a contender, I would nitpick the texture. But there's such bigger problems with the firearm that the texture I didn't consider, which you'll know if you've seen it in my other reviews. I'm a big proponent of that texture, but I'm not going to make mention of that here. I'm just going to say that it feels good in the hand. It has a nice fit, and it's if your hand's a little bit bigger, you're going to get a significant amount of slide by, which I'll mention in the nuances. But the fit of the firearm in your hands feels good, and that's not firing the weapon, because once you start to fire, you're going to see like, woo, man, it's a good thing that it does fit well, because I got to really grip into it. But that is a positive. For me, that is a positive. The fit of the firearm in your hands does feel confident at first, and it's a huge thing when you're at the gun shop, just feeling a firearm, looking at a firearm. So now the next thing for a pro is the concealment. Now concealment is a big thing, and a lot of these firearms, they have like the CC9, their slide serrations and cuts aren't as pronounced as the Glock, which you can get a more confident grip on this firearm, but the CC9 fits well. So concealment with this Glock 43X is wonderful. I'm using the G-Code Paradigm holster, which holds like 215 or 250 different handguns, and it just fits like a glove. It's just so nice, and I don't carry with this. I'm just using this as an example as my test base, but it feels so good. It's flush with your body. Naturally, it's what you want from any of these EDCs, and it shouldn't be a pro, but there are some that the magazine is kind of out. This magazine sits flush, so that is a positive. And this is offset just a little bit. It's not in the middle, but if it was in the middle, it wouldn't have anything sticking out. So the concealment for me is big, and also because there was more cons than for me than positives in terms of the objectivity of the firearm. So concealment with this is great. You get a nice slimline form factor. There's nothing that catches. It's a Glock, so it's going to be very, very flush, and that's awesome. Now this pro number 2 is that the concealment of the firearm is wonderful. Now pro number 3 is, it's not fanboying either, but we know what we know about what we know about, and Glocks, as we know, as a lot of you know, Glocks are reliable to a point, right? And despite all of the flaws that the company has made or not made with the feature set and the innovation of them over the last 50, years, almost 50, is beyond me. We're not going to think about that. Just as the weapon functions, as it stands, it's good to go. And the Glock platform, which is pro number 3, the platform that it's on, has been replicated, has been imitated, and has been put out there for everybody to mimic and try to make better, which they have. The Ruger RXM is incredible, and that review is coming, so stand by. But the platform is going to give everything about the Glock that you expect, aside from the shooting experience, but that's just the nature of the small subcompact form factor. So reliability is massive, especially for an EDC. The takedown, which is just so intuitive and just easy. Cleaning, maintaining, everything is textbook Glock platform. You can't mess that up. So that is a definite pro in my book, but then it doesn't outweigh those cons. It's just, sure, it's a Glock, but you're missing a lot of stuff for that price that others have been going leaps and bounds over you. And even though you have set the stage and you are the pioneer, I want to say the pioneer because and this is just based off my knowledge and my experience, is I feel that, you know, Glock has been the pioneer in that sense. But if you don't innovate and keep up, then you will be the fallback. You'll be the Toyota, right? But you're not going to improve and be competitive, so to speak. You'll be the fallback. So that being said, those are the pros, those are the cons. I'm going to go into the nuances and then I'll give my take. A couple of nuances is the magazine. Now the magazine, when your firearm is, the slide is forward, it goes straight in and there's no problem. When the slide is back, right, it should be an even easier task to push in. Now, full magazine, 10 rounds, when you insert, okay, it goes in, and you have to push, and that's expected because a full magazine, when the slide is forward, is going to be a little tough. When the slide is back, I still have to push. I have to slam it in there to get that same effect, which is weird because no other firearm that I have shot has ever done that. And to me, it seems strange. Now, I don't know what the issue is, and you know, a lot of you mechanics and engineers out there can tell me what the problem is, but I don't like that. I think that's bad. It's very small, and it's a nuance. It's not a negative. I mean, if the firearm had a lot more positives than negatives, then this would be one of the negatives. But because it's not, it has more glaring negatives or cons. Then it is just a weird tick. I don't know why it does that. So that's one of the things that I didn't like. I mean, it's a nuance. It's a little characteristic. And the other one is, if you have bigger hands, you're going to get slide bite. The guest shooter you saw, he was getting pinched because his mitts are a lot bigger than mine and other people. But you could see it's going to get a high purchase on the firearm, which the beaver tail isn't that large. It would give you some slide bite. Not a negative. It's just a little thing you consider when you're going to go buy a firearm. And like I said, you handle it, you know, all right, my hands are a little bit bigger. This doesn't have a significant beaver tail. I need to go with another EDC option. And so the last one is actually a good characteristic. And I know it sounds like too that in this review I'm being hard on the Glock, hard on this 43X. I'm not, because it's a Glock. You're already going to be stand above. You say that, and it's just synonymous with firearm, a Glock, right? And so that in itself is a positive because you are it when it comes to when everybody thinks about firearm is a Glock. So it's because it works so well, it's reliable, it has that track record. And this last little nuance is a positive for me. It grew on me. It definitely grew on me, and as I shot it, it got better and better, and I wasn't fair with it early on, comparing it to the Gen 3 Glock 19, because of how that shot and how I shoot with it. It is a good firearm. It is a good firearm, and I'm being harsh on it because there's an expectation, and as a consumer, right, we look at our pros and cons and we decide what is going to make the most for our money, which doesn't grow off trees. You have to go out there and hump it a little bit. So you want a company that has been the innovator and pioneer to innovate and continue pioneering, which I don't know, I forget when it came out, but right now you're coming out with 15 round mags instead of coming out with it initially. Doesn't make logical sense. I'm not part of the business. I can't say they should or shouldn't have done this because I'm not there sitting in those chairs wearing the suit and ties making those decisions. So I'm just saying that now we're getting this. It just doesn't seem, it's a little bit too late, right? And people have already looked at other platforms and decided, yeah, this is good and it's popular. I know it is popular, but if I'm the consumer and I'm doing review, or I'm sorry, looking at reviews and hearing from other people like myself, like yours truly, about which gun to go for, I'm going to definitely take that in consideration because of what else is out there, which is why I do these, because I think that while this is a good gun and I like it, initially off the jump, nope, not worth it. It's not worth it. And that's my take, is that it's a good gun, it's a Glock, it does well, it's coming out with 15 rounds, you can get optics cut, but then for the price, oh man, nah. CC9, I would just spend that extra money and have that wonderful pistol right out the gate. Don't like that ambidextrous slide or magazine release, but that's just me, fellas, ladies, folks. But yeah, no, I think that to shoot this gun is to know what you would not want. And after all the time that you've spent with a Glock, or how you learned on this platform, coming to the 43X, a lot of people swear by it, and that's cool, because I know why they swear by it. I know why they carry it. I know why they love it, because it's dependable, it's reliable. But I'm just like, no, man, I think that there are better options out there. Ruger, man, that are the Max 9, super shooter. I paid $220 for that thing on clearance. It's a Gen 1, so Gen 2. But Gen 2 is still like $230 MSRP, or $240. Way better. Way better. I still like it. I still think it has a place, but for a new shooter, no. Just go with the Glock 19. I'm sorry, go with a Glock 19 platform, Ruger RXM, or the Ross Martin RM1C. I also have that review coming up. That one surprised the heck out of me, and that price, woo. Anyway, so all of these different, and they're a little bit larger than this. So, and if you're a smaller frame, you have a daintier frame, you're a smaller gentleman, or you're a lady, a smaller lady, and you want to carry it in your purse or on your ankle, no, give the Max 9. This would be, like I said, this would be an experience that you have shooting next to a bunch of different EDCs, especially, to then look at, oh, you know what? Yeah, I like those other ones better than this because of everything considered. And all the things that I mentioned are the big things that I consider. I'm not going to go into, I didn't go into like super duper detail, because the big things are the big things, and that is all. I know I made this a little bit long-winded, and I do appreciate your time as mine, because we're all super busy. But that's how I feel. Let me know what you think, and I don't mind getting flack for what I'm saying, but I shot through 1,000 rounds, and I know what I know, and I felt very good about the firearm after I gave it a good college try, and I do like it, but overall, big picture, nope, didn't live up to those expectations. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. All the likes and subscribes and comments and supportive things everybody does, I'm very, very appreciative. Please take that to heart. I know it's hard for me to convey that, especially you have this facade on, right? And I'm not really giving anything but my voice, but that's my level of grateful, humble, modest appreciation for everybody being here. It can't be understated. So thank you so much. A couple of you in particular have been very, very supportive, and when I say Dwight, you know who you are, and I really do thank people like yourself who have given me that time, and all of you that really have given me just good supportive comments, and also critical ones. Any of it, all of it is awesome. Okay, enough of that. Just remember, I think you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Come back for my next review series coming up. Remember, 10 episodes, 100 rounds, and we'll keep at it. So like, subscribe. I'm not gonna do an outro. Comment and recommend, not in the particular order. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you think about the 43X. I love to have that community conversation. And oh yeah, and then I forget the commenter, but they mentioned to me that they're coming out with a 15-round mag, and looked it up, and sure enough, middle of April. So thank you. You know who you are as well. I appreciate dropping that egg of knowledge on me. And that's why I do what I do, having all of you help show me the way. So, okay, make sure you aim for center mass, pick up your brass, wash your ass, and say hi to your mom for me.